Just say no. Chapter 1. What the hell is going on here? Sebastian was scowling as he pushed his way through the crowd of people. Various members of 3 different show choirs had made an enormous mess in the Dalton hallways. He saw Kurt on the stairs and Blaine with a ring in his hand, staring at him with wide hard eyes. Kurt's head snapped up and he sighed. Bastion, calm down. Please. I'll handle this. Calm down? Some asshole just proposed to my boyfriend. No, I don't think I will calm down. Sebastian moved forward and snagged Kurt's hand, tugging him behind him, and glared at Blaine and the Warblers. I go to Paris for a week and come back to you guys trying to help a cheater get his ex to marry him? Jeff stiffened. Cheater? Wait. Blaine cheated? Blaine, you cheated on Kurt. The blonde was now glaring with his arms crossed. You said it was a misunderstanding. Yeah, he misunderstood that he wasn't meant to stick his dick in another guy. Sebastian hissed furiously. Kurt wrapped a hand over Sebastian's shoulder. He knew the lacrosse captain had been desperate to kick Blaine's ass after he found Kurt crying in a coffee shop in New York a few months ago. He'd never expected Sebastian Smythe to be the person to help put himself back together. Bastion, please. No one even knows we're together. The pale beauty reminded. They had decided to keep their relationship a secret until they were sure about it being what they both wanted. Wait. You're dating Sebastian Smythe? Rachel gaped in surprise. Kurt, you can't be serious. After what he did to Blaine and all the things he did to us last year. How can you possibly forgive him? Groaning, Kurt sighed. Finn and Puck threw me in a dumpster for the first 2 years of high school, Rachel. They regularly slushy you and me for that matter. Yet, you made out with Puck and planned to marry Finn. So why can't I forgive and date Sebastian? His hands were on his hips. I'm really over this crazy double standard you all have for me. Blaine cheated. No, I am not getting back together with him. No, I am not marrying you. Are you crazy, Blaine? What made you think that because I was willing to speak to you and agreed to be your friend, tentatively, that it meant you should propose? He threw his hands up in the air. And what made you all think this was a good idea? Blaine said, I thought you two had made up and were dating again. Brittany frowned at Blaine and then over at Sam. That you were dolphins in love again. Oh, Brittany. He opened his arms, and she came forward, getting a tight hug from Kurt. We made up as friends, not as dolphins. He caressed her hair. Sebastian is my new dolphin, okay? Peeking at Sebastian, her eyes wet, is he a good dolphin now? I thought he was mean. Why does she keep calling them dolphins? Trent whispered, slightly confused. He meeped at the death glare from Santana. Reaching out, Seb took Brittany's hand. Yeah, I'm trying to be a nice dolphin, sweetie. At least I'm trying to be nicer to Kurt. Brittany looked at Sebastian before squealing and launching herself at him to give him a tight hug. Sebastian looked at Kurt with a wide-eyed, scared look but hugged her back. He knew the blonde cheerleader meant a lot to his boyfriend. Santana came down and gathered Brittany away from Sebastian. All right, Chipmunk, I'm giving you probation because you have Brit's seal of approval. Screw up, and I'll cut you. She warned, giving him a warning glare before turning to Kurt. You. We are so talking about this. I knew you were getting laid. She hugged the blue-eyed boy. Tana. My dad and Finn are right there. Kurt groaned, face-palming, as he glanced over at the men in his family. Finn began humming and put palms covering his ears while Bert removed his baseball cap, grumbling to himself and shaking his head. Sorry, Dad. She has no filter. He grumbled, but hugged the Latina back. Sebastian was snickering and shrugged when he got a few looks from the others. Vocal adrenaline had already dispersed, and some of the newer members of New Direction were whispering and moving away. A few of them openly glared at Blaine as well as his warblers. The green-eyed teen could only guess that the shorter boy had failed to tell them that he'd cheated on Kurt. So let me get this straight. You cheated on my boy, then harassed him into agreeing to give your friendship a second chance? Then asked me for his hand in marriage? Staged this spectacle and what? What was this? Bert finally spoke up, and his tone was hard. Bert Hummel was officially pissed. If I had to guess, Mr. Hummel, I'd say it was a manipulation under the guise of a big romantic gesture to ensure Kurt wouldn't say no. Sebastian tucked Kurt under his arm. The nasty look on his face and icy glare of pure loathing was directed at Blaine. Luckily, I got a call about what was going on and managed to get here before this spun any further out of hand. Wait, you got a call? Blaine growled, spinning to look around, betrayal on his face. Who? Puck smirked, shrugging. Me, dude. I heard what you did. My princess deserves way better. I figured out Kurt and the meerkat warbler were together a month ago. Sides, he's not so bad. He can hold his own on the mats with me, and if Princess and Brit like him, that's all I need. Santana looked over at Sebastian again before nodding, her opinion of him going up further with Puck's approval. I was wondering where you'd got to, Puckerman. A month? Kurt, you hooked up with Sebastian right after we split up? Blaine had a look of betrayal on his face. Bert snorted. Didn't you cheat on my kid? I don't think you get to get a accusing tone, Anderson. Come on, Kurt, you have a plane to catch. Rachel, you too. Actually, Mr. Hummel, my mama and papa want to talk with Kurt before he leaves. We'll pay for the ticket, but it's important. If that's okay? Seb hugged Kurt closer. Kurt looked up, worriedly. Is something wrong with Amelia? He'd gotten close to Sebastian's mother as the woman commuted to work in New York frequently. Bert smiled a little. Your parents like Kurt? It was a big bone of contention for Bert that the Andersons had always treated his son poorly and were very unaccepting. I think my whole family likes Kurt better than me. The taller boy rolled his eyes and huffed. My little sister thinks he hangs the moon. Sebastian pouted, and Bert just laughed a little. It's hard not to love him. Bert nodded and sighed. All right, Kurt's an adult. It's up to him. However, I expect to see you at the next family dinner when Kurt comes back again. He pointed at Sebastian, who just nodded rapidly. Throwing his arms up and growling, Blaine had enough. Kurt, I need to speak with you privately. Please. Now. Sebastian turned, gaze narrowing. 1. Don't speak to him like that. 2. Don't ever give him orders. Kurt isn't a dog. 3. I think you just heard me say that my parents needed to speak with him and that he needs to get back to New York shortly after. Sebastian stepped forward, but Kurt's hand on his chest stilled him. 4th, the only reason I haven't punched you in your smug face for this stunt is that it would just upset Kurt. Sighing, Kurt groaned and shook his head. All right, as hot as all this alpha male posturing is. Bastian, we should go see what your parents want with me. Gathering his boyfriend's hand, he started tugging him away from Blaine. Oh, in case you are confused, no. I'm not going to marry you, Blaine. Trent, Jeff, and Nick were still glaring at Blaine. You guys need to clean up this mess, by the way. Sebastian called over his shoulder. It's not our janitorial staff's fault you guys made that mess. Kurt, please talk to me. Blaine called out, trying to follow the couple, only to have Puck and Finn stop him. Santana, Brittany, and Mercedes all were blocking the hall with crossed arms. Santana moved forward. I don't know how you brainwashed Trouty Mouth, but you are gonna leave Porcelain alone. He's the only one in this entire stupid club who's managed to avoid cheating on someone and to avoid sleeping with one of the other members. He's managed to escape this whole crazy incestuous thing we've had going on. He was fracking miserable, and most of us made sure of that. She was poking Blaine in the chest. So here's what's going to happen. You will stop calling and sending flowers and stupid toys and harassing him. If you don't, I'll let my boy Puck have what's left of you after I tell Coach what you did. There was a vicious glint in her eyes. A few of the New Directions flinched at the idea of Coach Sue finding out that Blaine had hurt her favorite gay by cheating. Yo, you think I'm scared of Puck? Blaine's mouth tightened, but he winced when Puck's hand clenched on his upper arm. I'm a founding member of the Dalton Fight Club. Puck gave a positively evil smile. Good, then we should be a decent match. I won't feel too bad about beating your ass. I'm a traveling member of a few clubs myself. There was a hiss from Nick, because now he knew where he recognized the other from. Like she said, leave Princess alone. He doesn't need your shit, Hobbit. He's happy now, and he deserves that.